You want to know about revenge? Real revenge? Not the petty stuff you see in movies, but the kind that changes everything forever? Buckle up, because what I'm about to tell you will blow your mind. My name's Marcus, and up until 6 months ago, I thought I had the perfect life. Successful IT consulting business, beautiful house in the suburbs, and Sarah, my wife of 12 years. Sweet, innocent Sarah, who worked part-time at the local library and spent her evenings knitting scarves for the homeless shelter. Or so I thought. It all started with a phone call that changed everything. Picture this. I'm sitting in my home office on a Tuesday afternoon, working on a client's network security system when my phone rings. Unknown number. Hello, is this Marcus Chen? Yeah, who's this? This is Detective Rodriguez with the Portland Police Department. We need to speak with you about your wife, Sarah Chen. My blood went cold. What happened? Is she okay? Sir, we're investigating a fraud case and your wife's name has come up. Can you come down to the station? I'm thinking maybe identity theft, right? Someone stole her library card or something. Boy, was I wrong. At the police station, Detective Rodriguez slides a manila folder across the table. Mr. Chen, are you aware that your wife has been running a high-end escort service? I literally laughed. You've got the wrong Sarah. My wife knits. She reads to kids at story time. She's afraid to jaywalk. Sir, we've been investigating Scarlett's elite companions for 6 months. Your wife is Scarlett. They showed me photos, security camera footage, bank records. My sweet, innocent Sarah, the woman who blushed when I told dirty jokes, was running a fucking escort empire out of a downtown penthouse I didn't even know she owned. But wait, it gets worse. There's more, Mr. Chen. We believe she's been using your IT business to launder money. The clients you think you're doing network security for, half of them are shell companies she created. I stared at those bank statements, showing millions of dollars flowing through accounts I'd never seen. My legitimate business was being used as a front for her operation. Then the detective dropped the nuclear bomb. Mr. Chen, are you aware your wife is married to another man? What the fuck did you just say? Jared Williams, age 34, construction contractor. They've been married for 8 years. He thinks she's her only husband. That's right. My wife, M.Y. wife, was a bigamist running a prostitution ring while using my business to wash dirty money, and I, the cybersecurity expert, had no fucking clue. I drove home in a daze. Sarah was in the kitchen making dinner, humming some tune, acting like the same woman who'd kissed me goodbye that morning. Hey, honey, how was your day? She asked, all smiles and sweetness. I wanted to scream. I wanted to confront her right there, but something stopped me. Maybe it was the years of investigating corporate fraud, but I knew I needed more information. I needed to understand the full scope of what I was dealing with. So I played along. Fine, just tired. I'm going to work late in the office tonight. Instead of working, I started digging, and what I found made my skin crawl. Sarah's escort business wasn't just high-end. It catered to politicians, judges, CEOs. She had compromising videos and photos of half the city's power structure. She wasn't just selling sex, she was collecting blackmail material. The shell companies weren't random. They were connected to city contracts, building permits, judicial decisions. My wife was running a corruption network that made the mafia look like amateurs. And Jared Williams? Poor bastard thought he was married to Emma, a nurse who worked night shifts. She'd created 2 completely separate identities, 2 separate lives, 2 separate husbands. But here's where it gets interesting. See, I'm not just any IT guy. I specialize in cybersecurity and digital forensics. I know how to track digital footprints, how to trace money, how to uncover secrets people think they've buried. And I decided to use every single skill I had to destroy her. First, I cloned her phones, all 3 of them. The Sarah phone she used with me, the Scarlett phone for business, and the Emma phone for Jared. I installed monitoring software that tracked everything: calls, texts, locations, internet activity. Next, I hacked into her encrypted servers. Turns out she was more paranoid than most criminals. Multiple layers of security, anonymous hosting, cryptocurrency payments. But she made one crucial mistake. She trusted me with network access to upgrade our home security. Through that access, I mapped her entire operation. 23 high-end escorts, 57 regular clients, dozens of blackmail targets, 3 properties I didn't know existed, and bank accounts in 7 different countries. But the beautiful part? I documented everything while she slept next to me every night, humming lullabies like she was some innocent librarian. Then I started planning her downfall. See, the thing about running a criminal empire is that everyone involved has something to lose. Her girls didn't know about the blackmail scheme. Her clients didn't know they were being recorded. Her business partner, a lawyer named Patricia, didn't know Sarah was married to 2 different men. So I decided to introduce them all to each other. I created an anonymous website called The Scarlet Files and populated it with everything: photos, videos, bank records, client lists, the works. But I didn't release it yet. First, I needed to set the stage. I started with Jared. Poor guy deserved to know the truth. I created a fake email account and sent him a message. Emma isn't who you think she is. Check the security cameras at 1247 Morrison Street tomorrow at 3 p.m. if you want the truth. That was the address of the penthouse where Sarah ran her business. While Jared was discovering that his nurse, wife Emma, was actually the madam of a high-end brothel, I was having coffee with Detective Rodriguez. "I've been thinking about what you told me," I said, "and I want to help with your investigation." I handed him a USB drive containing copies of everything I'd gathered: financial records, client communications, evidence of the blackmail scheme, proof of the bigamy. "Jesus Christ," he whispered, scrolling through the files. This is a fucking gold mine. There's more. I can give you real-time access to her communications, help you coordinate arrests to get everyone at once." The plan was beautiful in its simplicity. The police would raid the penthouse during business hours, catching Sarah, her girls, and several high-profile clients in the act. Simultaneously, they'd arrest Patricia at her law office and freeze all the associated bank accounts. But I wasn't done yet. The night before the raids, I had dinner with Sarah like nothing was wrong. She was talking about her day at the library, some story about helping an elderly man find books on gardening. The performance was flawless. "You know what, honey?" I said. "I've been thinking we should renew our wedding vows." Her face lit up. "Really? That would be amazing." "Yeah, let's do it this weekend. I'll invite everyone, your family, my family, all our friends. Make it a real celebration." She practically glowed with happiness. "Oh, Marcus, I love you so much. You're the best husband a woman could ask for." I smiled and refilled her wine glass. "To us," I said. "To us," she repeated. It was the last dinner we'd ever share. The next morning, Sarah left for work at the library. Actually, she went to the penthouse to prepare for a busy day of managing her empire. At exactly 2 p.m., coordinated raids hit 5 locations simultaneously: the penthouse, Patricia's law office, Sarah's secret apartment where she met with blackmail targets, a warehouse where she stored compromising materials, and the bank where she had a safety deposit box full of cash and documents. I watched the news coverage from my office, and I won't lie, it was better than Christmas morning. Breaking news: massive prostitution and corruption ring busted in downtown Portland. Police have arrested 23 individuals, including several prominent city officials. My phone started ringing immediately. First, reporters wanting comments about my shock at discovering my wife's secret life. Then lawyers offering to represent me. Then Jared Williams. "Marcus, this is Jared. I think we need to talk." We met at a coffee shop downtown. 2 men whose lives had been destroyed by the same woman, trying to make sense of it all. "How long were you married to her?" he asked. 12 years. You? 8. Jesus Christ, man. 8 years, and I never suspected a thing? She was Emma to me. Worked nights as a nurse, always tired, always stressed about her patients. Library aide to me. Quiet, bookish, spent her free time volunteering. We sat in silence for a while, then Jared started laughing. Not happy laughter, the kind that comes when your brain can't process how thoroughly you've been played. You know what the fucked up part is, he said? I loved her. I really loved her. Both versions of her, I guess. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. The trials were a media circus. Sarah, real name Sandra Catherine Morrison, we learned, had been running cons her entire adult life. The sweet librarian and nurse personas were just her latest creations. She'd grown up in foster care, bouncing between homes, learning early that people saw what they wanted to see. If you acted innocent and helpless, people trusted you. If you were smart about it, you could take everything they had. The prosecution painted a picture of a criminal mindsmith who'd spent years perfecting her craft. The defense tried to portray her as a victim of circumstance, forced into crime by poverty and abuse. I testified for 3 days about the financial fraud, about how she'd used my business, about the bigamy. The hardest part was when they asked me to read some of her text messages aloud. Messages to her girls? Remember, these men pay for fantasy. Give them whatever fantasy makes them feel powerful. Messages to blackmail targets? I have video of last Thursday. 50K keeps it private. Messages to her business partner. Marcus is so clueless. Perfect cover. And the one that broke my heart? A message to Jared sent the same day she told me she loved me. Can't wait to start our real life together once I'm done with this job. Even then, even after everything, she was planning to abandon both of us for something new. The jury deliberated for 6 hours. Guilty on all counts. Money laundering, racketeering, prostitution, bigamy, fraud, blackmail. She got 25 years without possibility of parole. But here's the thing about revenge. It's not the conviction that satisfied me. It's not even the fact that she lost everything. It's what happened after. See, when the Scarlet Files website went live during the trial, it didn't just expose Sarah's crimes. It exposed everyone she'd been blackmailing. Judges taking bribes, city council members approving crooked contracts, CEOs hiding affairs and illegal deals. The corruption investigation that followed brought down half the city government. Dozens of arrests, millions in seized assets, a complete overhaul of how the city did business. And Sarah, the woman who thought she was so clever, who believed she could manipulate everyone around her? She became the catalyst for the biggest anti-corruption effort in the city's history. Jared and I stayed in touch. Weird friendship, bonding over shared trauma and betrayal. He moved to Seattle, started over. Met a nice woman, a real nurse this time, he jokes. Me? I sold the house, moved to a downtown loft, focused on my business. Turns out, being the guy who helped expose a major criminal conspiracy is great for attracting corporate clients who need cybersecurity services. But the best part, the absolute sweetest part of this whole thing, Sarah tried to contact me from prison 6 months ago. A letter asking for money for commissary items. Apparently prison food doesn't meet the standards of someone who used to dine at 5-star restaurants. I wrote back. 1 sentence. You taught me that people aren't always who they pretend to be. Thanks for the lesson. I never heard from her again. You know what I learned from all this? Revenge isn't about getting even. It's about making sure the truth comes out. It's about consequences finally catching up to people who think they're untouchable. Sarah spent 12 years lying to my face, stealing my money, using my business, making me an unwitting accomplice to her crimes. She thought I was just another mark, another sucker to be manipulated. But she forgot one crucial detail. I'm really, really good at what I do. And what I do is uncover secrets that people think they've hidden forever.
The funny thing is, if she'd just been cheating, just having an affair like a normal person, I probably would have been hurt, we would have divorced, and life would have moved on. But she had to be extra. She had to create this elaborate criminal empire, this web of lies and deception that hurt dozens of people. And that's what made destroying her not just satisfying, but necessary. Sometimes the best revenge is just letting people face the consequences of their own choices. I didn't frame Sarah or plant evidence or lie about what she did. I just made sure everyone could see who she really was. And that, my friends, was more than enough.